Everyone, I hope you're well, whether you're participating live on Zoom with us or whether you watch the video later. Hope everything is good for you, good with you, both mentally and physically. So let's do the chanting straight away, excuse me. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami. Tadayampi Buddham saranam gacchami. Tadayampi Dhammam saranam gacchami. Tadayampi Sangham saranam gacchami. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be parted from the happiness beyond suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment to the near, and aversion from the far. I shall cause this. Great compassionate Buddha, please inspire me to be able to do so. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every types of offerings, actual and mentally transformed. I confess all of my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in all the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until cyclic existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for all sentient beings. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. However innumerable all sentient beings are, I vow to save them all. However inexhaustible my delusions are, I vow to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the Dharma teachings are, I vow to master them all. However endless the Buddha's way is, I vow to follow it completely. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Tayata Gate Gate Para Samgate Bodhisoha. Tayata Gate Gate Para Samgate Bodhisoha. Tayata Gate Para Samgate Bodhisoha. So now get yourself comfortable for a little bit of meditation. Initially, as usual, to release the tension from the body. So bring your mind inside your body. And starting at the tips of your toes, release the tension, whatever tension you may have, and that you're able to release. So starting tips of your toes, work your way around your feet, the bottom of the feet, balls, the arches, the heels, on top of your feet, and all around your ankles and Achilles. Now release from your lower legs, calf muscles, shins, and all around your knees. And your upper legs too, quads, hamstrings. Now release from your midsection, around your hips, groin, glutes. And from your abdomen area, your sides, your lower back, up to the center of your back. Release from around your chest, underneath your arms and your upper back, rhomboid muscles, lateral muscles, up to the upper trap muscles. And release from your shoulders, the biceps and triceps and elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, fingers and thumbs. Now up to your neck, release from all around your neck. In the back of your head and sides of your head, around your ears and temples. And release whatever tension you may have on your face, around your cheekbones and cheeks. Make sure you're not clenching your jaw, your chin and mouth, both inside and outside. And release from your nose and sinuses, eye sockets and eyes, and from your forehead. And finally release from the crown of your head. Now briefly scan your body from the bottom to the top again to see if there's any leftover tension, and if there is, release it. Now bring your mind to the tip of your nose initially, and we will follow the feeling of the breath as we breathe in our nose all the way into our lungs, back out our nose again. Follow the feeling of the breath. You can also add the extra technique of counting the breaths from 1 up to 10. And if you get distracted on the way towards 10, go back to 1 at that time. So if any thoughts arise or any mental activities arise, don't cling to it, don't grasp at it, don't try to force it away either, or deny it. But release it, let it go as you replace your mind back onto the breath. And if your mind becomes dull or sleepy, wake it up a little bit by refocusing on your breath more brightly. So let's practice like this in silence for a little bit. So now we can feel pleased with ourselves and fill ourselves with the universal loving kindness. Visualizing white light filling your whole being. This represents the universal loving kindness. Visualization helps us to place the mind, focus the mind. In this case, focusing on accumulating, developing loving kindness. It's immeasurable. That is not separate from compassion and joy and equanimity. Fill your whole being with this universal loving kindness. May I be happy and engage in the causes of happiness. May I be free from suffering and free from engaging in the causes of suffering. May I be peaceful. And may I practice the Dharma on the way towards supreme enlightenment. Filling yourself with so much loving kindness that it now overflows. It radiates outwards, the white light, leaving your heart center and entering into the heart centers of initially your loved ones, family and friends in front of you, filling them with the universal loving kindness too. May they also be happy and engage in the causes of happiness. May they also be free from suffering and free from engaging in the causes of suffering. May they be peaceful, and may they practice the Dharma on the way towards supreme enlightenment and realize the goal. And now also include strangers and do likewise. And even those we may regard as enemies, and do likewise. And now we can radiate this loving kindness out further and further distance-wise to all sentient beings now. All of the sentient beings, whether weak or strong, great or small, short or tall, seen or unseen, near or distant, born or to be born. May they all be happy, free from suffering, and be peaceful, and work their way towards supreme enlightenment. All of the sentient beings that live on the land, in the waters, fly through the air, whether born from wombs, moisture, eggs, or through transformation. And now radiate this loving kindness throughout your whole state or county to all of the sentient beings here. And also throughout your whole country. And all of the countries throughout the world. Those close to you, radiating gradually further and further distance-wise, till loving kindness pervades throughout this whole planet. So those countries as well that you have an affinity towards, those you're indifferent towards, and those that for whatever reason you may have some negative feelings about. And have your loving kindness pervade throughout all of the water or bodies of water, including the oceans and so on, down to the core of the earth and to the outermost atmosphere. And continue radiating further and further throughout the whole solar system now. And the galaxy and the universe and beyond. Have your loving kindness pervade throughout infinite space. And now we will recite the dedication prayer. Due to this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of the Buddha, so that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious body, Chitta, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline but increase forevermore. And may the precious view of Shunyata, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline but increase forevermore. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Amitabha. Okay, so we'll continue to have the introduction to this Zen Speaks teachings, or these teachings. And this is definitely the last intro. Intro number 7. It's a nice number too. So in the previous weeks, we were talking about the embodied scripture. What was it in the beginning? Khan and Zen Buddhism and the medieval Chinese knowledge establishment. And then we spoke about radical Buddhism. And then embodied scripture. And last week we did the embodied teaching. And so today we'll have a look at this land is the Pure Land. Now, of course, Pure Land. What are we talking about here? This is a school of Buddhism, you can say, the Pure Land school, where you focus on Amitabha Buddha, a Buddha from the West in the universe that has established, as it is said, the Buddhas, after enlightenment, then they can radiate this world. It's almost like manifest this Pure Land. The name of Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land is Sukhavati, the land of ultimate bliss. Sukha meaning happiness or bliss. Vati means the place. And so, but also if you look at it from a Zen Chan point of view, this is pure mind. We're talking about Pure Land, pure mind. On a relative sense, on a relative level, I should say, then this Pure Land, how can it not be real? Just as real as this world, you know, on a relative level. Of course, on a relative level as well, everything is impermanent, everything is unsatisfactory, and has no self to be found, okay? That's relative. On the ultimate level, once again, just using these words for convenience, then we have Buddha nature. We have the emptiness, you know, which can also be known as the unobstructed mind, if you want to use all of these different types of phrases and words. But enlightenment itself, okay, realizing your true nature. So the Pure Land in that sense is pure mind, totally, but not pure as in the opposite of impure from a relative point of view, beyond that. As paramita, what that means is to go beyond to the other shore, even though there is no shore, to realize your true nature. Okay, so let me have a look at the time. Sometimes I look at the time here and I get confused because I don't know what the deal is. Ever since I bought this computer over a year ago now, it's always about 7 minutes slow. I tried to change it, but I don't like to do too many things on the computer in case I press the wrong things. Just to remind you that I didn't even know how to use a computer really until the end of 2019. You know, even all my writings I did in those days on the phone, on an iPhone 4, a little one. And of course, some students and friends used to help me with the printing or typing on the computer, saving photos, saving this, that, the other. Leisha helped a lot. Even prior to that, Michael Henderson helped a lot. And my mother helped a lot when I was writing those Buddhist musicals. Actually, I think the first 2 of them, I think she typed out the scripts for me. So, back in the day when she was very, very good on the computer, actually. Put me to shame. I didn't even know how to turn it on in those days. So, and it's not because I was lazy. Okay, just I was in the temple when not sort of doing things like that when computers became a thing that everybody had, everybody used just about. And so I missed out on learning during that period and was a little bit spoiled with students doing it. But once again, not lazy, because it's actually good to get the students. I learned from my masters to get the students to actually do the typing, because then they learn as they go. Anyway, I digress. This land is the Pure Land. Just as these anecdotes represent the Chan master engaged in practices and dialogues in such a way as not to make distinctions between teacher or teaching and teacher, so they also represent the material world and nature as not different from mind. Distinctions between mind and matter are no less dualistic than those between ignorance and wisdom. When Wei Yan let out a hearty laugh on seeing the clouds part in the mountains, he manifested this awareness. And when the seeker visits a Zen master, he is asked if he had heard the sound of the hollow, through which he passed on his way. We mistake the point of these anecdotes if we see them as simply encouraging nature appreciation. The seeker is being told in a non-pedantic manner not to make dualistic distinctions between the mind of the Zen master and the natural world. Liang Ji of Dongshan, whose disparaging comments on the idle knowledge of his day opened these remarks, once asked his master about the Chan notion that non-sentient beings or matter could, like Buddhist masters, teach the way. At one point in the exchange, he is referred to, he's referred to the following line in the Amitabha Sutra, a popular Buddhist scripture. Waterbirds, tree groves, all without exception recite the Buddha's name, recite the truth, or Dharma. This line in the sutra is spoken by the Buddha as he is describing the Pure Land, a realm into which many hoped to be reborn as a result of certain prescribed acts performed in the world. The use of this line by Liang Shi's master is significant here for two reasons. First, it is intended as a description of natural phenomenon in this world, not a transcendent paradise. And second, suggests poetically that natural phenomena, not just enlightened masters, expound ultimate truths. In both of these radically non-dualistic perspectives, Chan was challenging the knowledge establishment of its day. If the Pure Land is wherever one is, there is no need for the expensive or time-consuming technologies for getting there. It is only necessary to understand where one is. Moreover, if it is understood that nature teaches, then scholarly institutes cease to be the sole arbitrators of knowledge. Yeah, there's a lot of what we call these days misinformation, lack of truth in the worldly sort of knowledges, the worldly teachings, and also, of course, the media. And so we need to look beyond that. It's nothing wrong with reading about something or learning about something, documentary or something like that, hearing it. No problem, but just don't get stuck in it, and look for the true meaning. And then if something is good, become it. Realize the true nature. Realize your own true nature, which is not separate from all of nature, not separate from all sentient beings, not separate from all Buddhas. So in this sense as well, your pure land depends on your mind. Once again, I'll say your mind is here, but in a relative level, as the Buddha taught, the Amitabha is pure land, and other Buddhas pure land. You have a being has a wish to be reborn there to practice the Dharma, to be in the presence of Amitabha Buddha and the Bodhisattvas and other great practitioners, to be encouraged to continue to practice the Dharma. You don't just go to a Pure Land and be on a Pure Land holiday. But it is said that all that is there, it's not out there, in here, actually is Dharma teachings. That's why the Buddha mentioned that even the birds are manifested from the Buddha's mind, the enlightened mind. They are teaching Dharma. The trees, the rustling in the trees, the wind through the trees, pure, teaching Dharma, teaching truth. You can perceive the truth in everything. Otherwise, those things so-called outside of you are outside of you. You could never understand them. You could never communicate with other living beings, for instance. You could not experience the beauty of nature. We're all interconnected in this sense on a relative level, okay? And when we realize our true nature, there's no need to talk about interconnectedness, is there? Because it's just naturally that way. It's important that we do get to learn some scriptures, for instance. It's good if you get to read these two Amitabha Sutras, one shorter one longer one, which gives you basically some meditations, visualizations within the scripture, within the sutra. It's good if you get a chance to read them, but also study 12 links of dependent origination, how all things are interconnected, interrelated, interdependent. Pacicca samutpada or pratitya samutpada. It's slightly different in Pali and Sanskrit, not much. What else did I want to mention? Yeah, so it's good to read these sutras. Some sutras take on the form of being very, you could say, flowery in a sense. What they are doing is helping us to be free. If we put into practice the teachings within, helping us to be free from mental afflictions. So right now, maybe we perceive things like not a clear sky, to use a metaphor. It's a cloudy sky. We can't see through it because of the clouds of our mental afflictions. In a sense, you can say the teachings within these sutras and other sutras are there to help us blow away the clouds so that we can realize this enlightened mind, okay? Hopefully you don't mind that little example that I kind of paraphrased drastically. Okay, so we'll go back to it. And we're doing up there, time, 7 minutes. So these then are some of the ways that medieval Chan masters challenged the Tang knowledge establishment and its great mass of idle knowledge. Rather than providing explanations of such Buddhist doctrines as emptiness, as scholars and conventional teachers were doing, they sought to embody the doctrine in their behavior and speech. Rather than presenting arguments on behalf of or opposing certain theories of emptiness, as what is this word here? Rhetoricians, I've never used that word before, as they were doing, they engaged in a demonstrative form of rhetoric that, though it revealed a profound grasp of the scriptures, did not make use of specialized knowledge and eradicate or erudition to make its points. By directing seekers back into their own minds as the seat of awakening and away from sages, saviors, or distant Pure Lands. They put themselves to those, or presented themselves to those who offered special techniques for obtaining wisdom. Finally, by insisting that wisdom was inseparable from embodiment, they placed themselves in opposition to those who sought to first transform the body as a means to achieve wisdom. As important as what they are seeking to achieve was, how they went about achieving it of greater importance, or is of greater importance. As in some martial arts theories, one seeks to avoid joining battle with an opponent head-on, or on his or her own ground. So these Chan anecdotes replace argument with direct pointing and embodiment. It was a form of intellectual judo, you could say, offering no clear target to its opponents. Not only was this approach not openly aggressive, it was executed with a sense of humor that is part of its appeal. But though there is much humor in this literature, that fact should not lead us to regard it lightly. It is, on the whole, profoundly serious. So basically, even though it is entertaining, some of these teachings, as you will see, and short, using not a lot of words, and even the explanations are really short, and I will expand upon them a bit, okay? But try my best not to expand too much in using too many words. They are to be taken seriously, these teachings, you know. Like, for instance, when the master asked this scholar who came to learn meditation, the master asked him, "You want a cup of tea?" He says, "Yes, please." And then the master kept pouring the tea and it kept going everywhere. And then the master pointed out, this is just like your mind, just full of opinions. First of all, empty your cup, and I can pour the pure tea of the Dharma, the pure truth, into the cup. And of course, you'll see that when that comes. I'll explain it a little bit more, but that can be sort of, oh, that's kind of fun. Yeah, it's sort of one of the things that is a good spirit in these types of teachings. Sort of keep your attention, keep your attention, you know. All right, so I think that will do for that at the moment. And we still just have a couple of minutes left, so let me just have a look here. So next week we'll have a look at Zen is not reliant on the written word, a special transmission separate from the scriptures, direct pointing at one's mind, seeing one's nature, becoming a Buddha. But of course, we do have to rely upon the written word or the spoken word so that we can learn the methods or learn the purpose of our practice, what it is or why it is that we are practicing Dharma, and then learn the methods well and put them into practice well. But don't attach and get stuck on the written word or the spoken word. Special transmission separate from the scriptures explains this a bit further. And the expression taught through silence, maybe, taught through anecdotes, taught through overpouring a cup of tea, you know. Separate from the scriptures, but not separate from the scriptures. Not dualistic, you know, not separate or non-separate beyond that. Direct pointing at one's mind, you know, look inward. We always have to look inward to find the truth. Because if, you know, at the moment I can see my light point shining into my eyes, it's relative phenomena on the outside. But inner light is what I'm after, really, you know. So we've just got a minute left to go. See one's own nature. Become a Buddha, even though there is no becoming. There is no Buddha. There is no you, no me, no them, no us. I rejoice in your Dharma studies and hearing. I rejoice in your Dharma practice and contemplations, penetrations. I rejoice in your sharing of the Dharma. I rejoice in your meritorious goodness as always.